Donald Trump is having a catastrophic morning as he has just learned Vladimir Putin will be taking a trip to China where actual deals will be taking place. Think about the utter humiliation ritual Donald Trump was just put through. Xi Jinping entering no deals with Donald Trump. And now we know that Russia and China are expected to sign around 40 written agreements. 40 documents. Also, they're going to adopt a declaration on the formation of a multipolar world and a new type of international relations. This is a direct jab at Donald Trump, who got no deals done, who Xi Jinping looked in Donald Trump's face and said the U.S. is a nation in decline, to which Donald Trump agreed with. And now Xi Jinping and Putin signing a multilateral deal talking about a new world order. I mean, just think about the utter humiliation they're putting Donald Trump through. More catastrophic news for Donald Trump this morning. Iran just launched its official PGSA social media account, the official launch of what they're referring to as the Persian Gulf Strait Authority is now live. Not just the social media account, but the official organization that will be bringing in the tolls and will be coordinating all travel through the Strait of Hormuz, as Iran has asserted its sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz. And the United States is watching one after another the former allies that Donald Trump attacked, calling Iran, entering into bilateral agreements and arrangements with Iran, as the United States has never looked weaker. Here's the official launch of the PGSA account. They say, in the name of God, the official X account of the Persian Gulf Strait Authority, PGSA, is now live. Follow us for real-time updates on the Hormuz Strait operations and the latest developments. The Persian Gulf Strait Authority is the legal entity and representative authority of the Islamic Republic of Iran for managing the passage and transit through the Strait of Hormuz. Navigation within the introduced boundaries of the Strait of Hormuz, which were previously determined by the armed forces and authorities of the Islamic Republic of Iran, is contingent upon full coordination with these entities. So what is Donald Trump doing? More social media posts fantasizing about conquering Iran, thinks that if he can just threaten them on social media, then he could achieve what he couldn't achieve in a war through social media memes. I mean, here's what Donald Trump just posted. If Iran surrenders, admits their navy is gone and resting at the bottom of the sea, and their air force is no longer with us, and if their entire military walks out of Tehran, weapons drops, and hands held high, each shouting, I surrender, while wildly waving the representative white flag. And if their entire remaining leadership signs all necessary documents of surrender and admit their defeat to the great power and force of the magnificent USA, the failing New York Times, the China Street Journal, WSJ, corrupt and now irrelevant CNN, and all other members of the fake news media will headline that Iran had a masterful and brilliant victory over the United States of America. It wasn't even close. The Democrats and media have totally lost their way. They have gone absolutely crazy. DJT. You claim that Epic Fury was a success because Iran took over the Strait of Hormuz. You claim it's genius that the Strait of Hormuz is now closed, that the Islamic Republic is still in power, that Iran still has its uranium, that Iran still has access to its ballistic missiles and Shahed drone. Wait, I'm failing to understand where the victory in all of this has been. So yes, when you go out and you say that you're going to force Iran into complete surrender and you don't do that, and people criticize you for not achieving the goals and objectives, that's called actual news. That's not fake news. But you have to run to Barack Ravid over at Axios, right? That's what Donald Trump does, is he panics. He has to launder new disinformation through Barack Ravid over at Axios. And here's what Donald Trump just told Barack Ravid, who serves as Donald Trump's stenographer. Senior U.S. official to Barack Ravid, it's time for the Iranians to throw a bit of candy out. We need some real sturdy and granular conversations regarding the nuclear program. If that's not going to happen, we will have a conversation through bombs, which will be a shame. Then Barack Ravid writes, Iran's new offer is insufficient and risks war resumption, a senior U.S. official tells me. Iran has made the same offer since early March with its framework. We've been talking about the framework over and over again. Donald Trump agreed to that framework, which initiated the ceasefire after Donald Trump said he was going to bomb Iran into the Stone Age and destroy all of their bridges. And Donald Trump posted that and then unilaterally declared a ceasefire. He reposted the framework by Iran from Iran's foreign minister, Araghchi. He manipulated the markets. Then when he went into a mediation in Pakistan, Donald Trump then said, "Ooh, maybe Iran doesn't understand English because we never understood those terms." You reposted their terms and they haven't changed their terms. And now you're like, well, Iran's better give up everything. You did not achieve that in the war. You lost the war. So either you're going to escalate the war and you're going to commit more war crimes and it's going to be catastrophic for the global economy, or you're going to need to make concessions to Iran. Those are the choices right now. Social media memeing is not a thing, and you're being mocked for it right now by Iran, by China, by the entire world. Here, Donald Trump called up Fortune, and he goes, the Iranians scream all the time. They're dying to sign a deal. They're dying to do it. But then they send papers that have nothing to do what we've agreed on. I say, are you people crazy? You're imagining this. They're not talking to you. They've submitted proposals through Pakistan as the mediator, and those proposals are consistent with things they've said before. That's what's really going on. And they are mocking the hell out of you. Here is a video that Iran's social media account just posted about how they believe negotiations with China went. You'll see Donald Trump, Marco Rubio, Elon Musk, and then you'll see Xi Jinping and his negotiating team. This is what Iran thinks about you. They think that you're an utter clown. Here, play this clip.
Thank you for hosting us in this beautiful place. The most beautiful place I've ever seen. And the greatest leader I've ever met. Look, I'll be honest with you. Iran, the Strait, ships can't move. Oil prices are killing us. You have influence with Tehran. Huge influence. If you could just make a call. I'm not saying we need help. We definitely don't need any help. I'm just saying, if you feel like talking to Iran, totally fine. You know what? Forget Iran. Let me tell you something even better. Boeing jets, 200 planes, beautiful planes, best in the world. Great deal for China. Everybody wins. I'm going to take your silence as a very positive sign.
兄弟，快来看这张照片！哈哈，太棒了！我们看起来真完美。我去那边看看。
You know, despite everything, the tariffs, tensions, I always liked you, Xi. You're tough. I respect tough. I told everyone, Xi is different. I was right. I'm always right. So, what about Taiwan? It's a beautiful island. Very beautiful. We don't need to talk about it today. Great meeting, Xi. Truly great. Historic. See you later. That was incredible. Greatest meeting ever held. That's how you negotiate, gentlemen.
And Iran, and then China's foreign minister, spokesperson, gave a press conference earlier today saying, you heard Donald Trump. Donald Trump showed how weak he is on Taiwan, and Taiwan is an inalienable part of China's territory. It is never a country, not in the past and never in the future. Trump emboldened China. China got everything. The U.S. got nothing. Here, play this clip.
We have noted President Trump's remarks. Taiwan is an inalienable part of China's territory. It is never a country, not in the past and never in the future. Taiwan independence and cross-strait peace are as irreconcilable as fire and water. To seek Taiwan independence by soliciting external support is a dead end.
So what does Donald Trump do as he looks weaker than ever? Of course, he's got to bully American allies. That's his go-to move. When he's weak, when he's panicking, all right. What should we do with Canada? What should we do with Greenland? How do I bully my app? Right? That's his move. I should say former allies at this point. So the Undersecretary of War, the under Defense Secretary Elbridge Colby. He announces the following this morning. A strong Canada that prioritizes hard power over rhetoric benefits us all. Unfortunately, Canada has failed to make credible progress on its defense commitments. The Department of War is pausing the Permanent Joint Board on Defense to reassess how this forum benefits shared North American defenses. We can no longer avoid the gaps between rhetoric and reality. Real powers must sustain our rhetoric with shared defense and security responsibilities. Delivering on shared continental defense begins by recognizing our shared geography. Only by investing in our own defense capabilities will Americans and Canadians be safe, secure, and prosperous. You attack Canada, you call it the 51st state, you viciously go after Canadians, and then they go, yeah, maybe we don't want to buy American weapons. Maybe we don't want to take trips to the country that says they want to conquer us. Maybe we don't want to buy products from the country that continues to defame us. And then the U.S. further attacks Canada. And actions like that pushes Canada more towards Europe, more to the rest of the world, and moves them away from the United States. So the bullying of Canada, the bullying of Greenland, the United States, Greenland, and Denmark right now are holding secret talks based on the Trump regime's demand and threats. And you saw Jeff Landry, Donald Trump's envoy to Greenland, arrive there to bully, intimidate, and harass the people of Greenland. Why? Because Trump came back from China feeling like the weak, pathetic loser that he is. So he goes and bullies his allies or former allies. It's his go-to move. Oh, I'm going to show how tough I am. Maybe Xi will like me now. No, you look like a pathetic damn loser. Washington wants to expand military access influence over major investments and cooperation on Greenland's vast natural resources. Greenlandic officials fear the demands would limit their sovereignty for a generation, even if Greenland becomes independent, because what Donald Trump wants to basically do here is create a situation where U.S. wants a permanent veto power over major investment deals in the country. And they want to have to change an arrangement to allow U.S. forces to stay indefinitely and not ask for permission from Denmark or Greenland. That's what the Trump regime is demanding with Jeff Landry showing up there. Let's bring us to the home front, and I'll take us home by talking about what's going on in the United States right now. So the latest reports of CPI, the Consumer Price Index, as you know, inflation there is heading close to 4% year over year. We know PPI, Producer Price Index, wholesale price, was just at 6%. But as I said last year, remember what I said? I said, I have no doubt that CPI is going to be about 5% as early as this year. I said, inflation is going to hit 5%. Lots of people go, Ben, you're being hyperbolic. Not going to do that, Midas touch. Your headlines, you're hyperbolic. Okay, we're right again, okay? Here's the latest data that we're learning. And the Kobayashi letter writes, U.S. CPI inflation is on track to exceed 5% as early as this year. Over the last 6 months, CPI inflation has averaged 0.4% on a month-over-month basis, with March and April reading as high as 0.9% and 0.6% respectively. If this trend continues, this puts year-over-year inflation at around 5%. Okay, 5%. Things are getting really bad on the inflation front, and that's impacting America. That's why we see such high credit card delinquencies. It's why we see such high student loan delinquencies. It's why we see massive economic problems. People can't afford anything here. People can't afford gas. People can't afford anything. Okay, Trump's big focus today now, yes, reflecting pool, yes, Golden Ballroom, yes, Triumphal Arch, yes, taking over DC golf courses, all that stuff. Additionally, considering adding a helipad to the White House South Lawn, because he says the new Marine helicopters are now damaging the grass. And so now we're talking about new state-of-the-art helipads on the White House lawn. And then this morning, the Justice Department officially made the announcement that we've been talking about, that they are creating what they're referring to as an anti-weaponization fund. You know, the lawsuit that Donald Trump filed against the IRS and the Treasury Department for $10 billion. Remember, the federal judge wanted to conduct an investigation into whether this was a collusive case brought by Donald Trump against the Trump government to force taxpayers to pay $10 billion. Well, the briefing in that case was due today, where the judge wanted to determine, or to do this week, to determine if this was a collusive, improper case. So what the Trump regime did is they filed a request to dismiss the case with prejudice, throw the case out, but then use the filing of the case as a pretext to now create a settlement between Donald Trump, a private citizen, and the federal government to now create a fund of $1,776 million in order to pay January 6th insurrectionists and anybody the Trump regime believes was damaged by Biden. Trump will dole out $1.776 billion from our taxpayer dollars to insurrectionists and to other people who are engaged in horrible conduct if Donald Trump's like, oh, well, Biden was weaponized against you. Now, I'll leave you with the, and then he's like, Obama did it. Obama didn't do that. Just shut up. Stop with the Obama and the Biden stuff. You're a loser, and your Obama and Biden shtick is wearing very damn thin on the American people who are suffering because of you and your disgusting regime. Seriously, it's a grotesque, disgusting regime that's covering up child sex trafficking from sick people. And here's what the American people think. The latest generic ballot polling from Siena has Democrats up plus 11 heading into the midterms. 50% Democrats, 39% Republicans, the highest lead for Democrats, frankly, ever. And this is the Siena poll. We'll keep you posted every step of the way, but I wanted to give you all that data for now. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MidasPlus.com.